Hi, in this video I'll show you how to use SecureRandom in Java to generate random numbers. So I already have a project here called random, and I have a driver class. So first let's see how we can generate SecureRandom. This is the easiest example right now. SecureRandom random generator equals new SecureRandom. Okay, fix the error. All right, and it was imported right here, the class that we need. So then I will generate some number and I will store it into an integer. Random value equals random generator next int. Okay, and I will provide a value that is called scaling factor, so that I have a range of different values. So in this case, let me put 3. If I put 3, so the values that will be generated here are from 0 to 2. Let's print out the value that was generated. And let's run it. So random value 1, run it again, 0, 1, 2, 1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 2, 1 again. So you can see the value is repeating. It's either 0, 1, 2, or 2. All right, so there are other things you can do. For example, you don't have to create the SecureRandom object here in the main method. You can also put it in another class that will be responsible for providing random numbers. Let's see, so here I'm declaring one instance variable of type SecureRandom, and I give it name random numbers. And I create another private instance variable of integer type, random value. In constructor, I'm instantiating the object random numbers, so it can be constructed while during the initialization of this object random number provider. So it will never be null after that, after this random number provider is instantiated. So now I can use this class to generate numbers anywhere in my logic in this class. So I will have several methods. One method is example that I just showed you. And it's this method right here. So it's called setRandomNumber. And I will be passing what is the top value I want for my range. So it will work exactly the same way as what we just did in the driver class. I have this random value here, so the value will be assigned when I call this method, and that's how I will set the value. But I also need to provide a getter method, so I can get this value. Random value, select getters. Alright, so here's my getter, get value, returning integer, and it's returning this variable right here, this instance variable. Alright, now in my driver class, I'll create that object, random number provider, num provider equals new, equals new random number provider. So when I call the constructor of this class, it will also create this object, initialize this object, instantiate this object. Go back to driver class. So, and now here I want to call number provider. I want to call this set method, set random number, and let me put number 5 here. So the top value that I want is 4 in this case. So I have to provide 5. And later in my flow, I will also display this value. Let me call provider getter method, get random value. And when it returns it, I want to display it to the user. So I need this method, system out println, and whatever this statement returns will become a parameter for this method. All right, so let's run it. Let me put something here so we know what is being called. Sometimes I just do it like this. All right, this is 2 and this is 3. Let me run it again. So A1, A3, now it's 4 is the top value, 0, 2, 1, 3, 1 again, and so on. So this is working. But now I want to show you also how you can make it so that your values don't start from 0. So for this, I prepared here something else. I'll create a method like so, and it has, besides the scaling factor, it also has a shifting value. So shifting value will make all the numbers move whatever the shifting value is. For example, if my shifting value is 1, it will move all the numbers plus 1, make them plus 1. So instead of 0, now it will be 1. Instead of 1, it will be 2. Instead of 2, it will be 3, and so on. Let's save this file. So again, set random number. So here I'm using a method overloading technique that I'm providing more parameters here to my method. That's why I can keep the same name of the method. So I will send scaling factor, which will become an argument for next int, and shifting value that I add to whatever is generated. All right, so in my driver class, I already have num provider. Let me just copy this. Num provider, but this time I want to also send the shifting value. I'll send 1. And here I will not put AAA, BBB, so we can identify where when I call this method and when I call this method println. Let's run it again. So you see BBB is 2. Let's see if we will get in BBB, if we will ever get 0 or if we will ever get 5. So we expect not to see 0, but we do expect to see 5 sometimes. 5. You can see we're getting 5 now. And we haven't got 0 as of yet in the BBB area. So that's how we use shifting value. And one more example I want to show is how we use also the difference between values. So I'll create another method here, again using method overloading technique. Method name stays the same, but the number of parameters here has changed. Now it's 3. So now, in addition to scaling factor and shifting value, I'm also sending difference between values. So here, the way it will work, you can see there's multiplication symbol. So whatever number would be generated, it will be multiplied by whatever I'm sending as difference between values, plus we will add shifting value as well. Okay, let's save. Let's go back here. Let me copy and paste this. So shifting value, and let's add 2 as a difference in between numbers. Okay, instead of BBB, let's display CCC now. Alright, so now we have 7. So even though we're still sending 5 as the top number that we should be getting, sometimes we're getting numbers that are higher. For example, 7 in this case. 3, 3 again, 3 again, 1, 7, 9, 9, 1, 9, 7, 7, and so on. So you can see this is also giving you some result, and it's different from the previous two. Alright, so this is SecureRandom and how you can generate random numbers. You can put this logic where you're creating the random numbers in a loop, so you can generate multiple random numbers at once and display them as well. And also take a look at this class random number provider. This is where you can see the actual examples when we call a method on random numbers object, SecureRandom object, and we're providing scaling factor, shifting value, and difference between values to modify the logic of the numbers that we're getting back.